We finally have a date for Diablo III, and it's not too far off. Angry Birds continues its quest for world domination, Rocksmith is heading on tour to Europe, the Middle East and Asia, Double Fine is still in shock after raising a bucket load of cash for its upcoming game, Mojang and Bethesda settle on Scrolls, while a very different Command & Conquer enters open beta, all in this week's edition of Player Attack. Hi, I'm Jessica Citizen. In less than 2 months, you will be able to play one of the most eagerly anticipated role-playing games of the last few years, as Blizzard sets a date for Diablo III. After years of development and months of beta testing, the game is finally ready to be revealed, hitting PC and Mac systems around the world starting May 15th. The game will be released in most regions as both a retail version and via Battle.net, so to make sure you get your copy, global digital pre-sales have already kicked off. The standard edition of the game comes with a DVD copy of Diablo 3, but if you want to shell out a few more dollars, you can grab the collector's edition. That one comes with a behind-the-scenes Blu-ray DVD double disc set, the soundtrack CD, a 208-page art book, and a 4GB USB Soul Stone containing Diablo 2 and its expansion Lords of Destruction. More and more Diablo 3 beta keys are floating around the internet these days, so if you haven't yet sampled the game, keep an eye out, or just sit tight for a couple of months. Maybe in the meantime you could play a little Angry Birds, with Rovio this week expanding its plans for world domination via a couple of interesting channels. We're not just talking about the suggestion the game will pop up on PlayStation Vita either. First off the grid, literally, is a tasty co-branding project with Finnish Formula 1 star Heikki Kovalainen. Marking the first race of the season this weekend in Melbourne, Australia, Kovalainen unveiled his brand new helmet, emblazoned with a familiar-looking character. Unfortunately for the proud Finn, the red helmet didn't help his race, retiring after 38 laps in the Melbourne Grand Prix. Hopefully he has better luck when the rest of the promotion arrives a little later this year. Rovio is planning a series of co-branded merchandise plus a new web game featuring racing-themed content. In addition to all that, Rovio has also announced a co-branding project with MTV as part of the A Thin Line anti-bullying campaign. If you post a positive action via the MTV Draw Your Line smartphone app, you will be rewarded with a hint to unlock a secret golden egg level in the company's new game, Angry Birds Space. Editors, writers, and grammar nerds around the world have had many reasons to cringe at video games over the last few years, but the past few months have been terrible, particularly for Capcom, struck down with 3 embarrassing errors in just 1 month. Firstly, Resident Evil Revelations was shipped as Revelatons, then Azura's Wrath promised near-impossible challenges, and proving bad things really do come in threes, a trailer for Steel Battalion claimed to have been published by Capcom. The company says it has no excuse for the errors, but has now put new processes in place to prevent this from happening again. Unfortunately, that won't help Konami, who was also hit by the typo fairy this week. A European version of Silent Hill Downpour was meant to feature the game's subtitle, Who Can Stop the Rain, translated into Spanish. However, a pesky error saw one letter dropped out of the phrase, meaning the game now effectively asks, Who can stop the Finnish municipality of Rovio? We're hoping Konami, like Capcom before it, can see the bright side in all of this. If you've picked up an errored copy of the game, be happy! You've just snagged a rare collector's edition at no extra charge. In other news, gamers in Europe, the Middle East, Asia and Australia are rejoicing this week, sort of, after Ubisoft revealed that Rocksmith will be getting a release outside of North America. Revelation came exactly 1 year to the day since the Real Guitar game was announced, and while it's great news, the planned release date is still a bit of a slap in the face. Rocksmith is crossing the Pacific on September 13th, 11 months after North American audiences got their collective grooves on. Something that has made gamers rejoice this week without reservations is the news from Double Fine about the developer's Kickstarter adventure project. 6 weeks ago, the company set out to raise funds for an upcoming old-school point-and-click game designed to disprove the theory that adventure games are dead. The fund eclipsed its $400,000 goal less than 24 hours after the initial announcement was made. This week, the fundraising effort officially came to an end, and Double Fine officially raised more than $3 million in excess of the original $400,000 goal. As Tim Schafer exclaims, "Holy cow, people!" More good news this week for Mojang too, with the announcement that the lawsuit between Bethesda Softworks and the Minecraft developer has come to a happy end. The 8-month-long battle has been over Mojang's upcoming digital card game Scrolls, which Bethesda's lawyers felt was a little close to big-name RPG The Elder Scrolls Skyrim, believing the similarity would confuse people. The happy arrangement mentioned by Mojang Managing Director Carl Manner comes in 2 parts. Importantly, Scrolls is still going to be called Scrolls. However, Mojang cannot keep the trademark attached to the game. The developer has permission to use it exclusively for the upcoming digital card game and any add-ons it may create for that game, but not for anything else. That means that if Scrolls is successful enough to warrant a sequel, it will require an all-new title. While everybody seems to be focusing their handheld attention on the brand new, very shiny Vita, Nintendo is trying a slightly different approach to drag you back to the 3DS. Over the next 6 weeks, the company will be featuring an episodic animated series based on Kid Icarus Uprising, with a series of clips available in 3D exclusively through Nintendo Video. And finally this week, an impressive, if slightly misleading, trailer for the brand new Command & Conquer release, Tiberium Alliances. Like many modern trailers, this one looks pretty shiny, but doesn't actually give much of an impression of the actual game. Command & Conquer Tiberium Alliances is an official title in the RTS franchise, but it boldly goes where no game has gone before, popping up as a free-to-play browser-based release that has just entered open beta. Already described by some gamers as Command & Conquer Farmville, it's an enjoyable little mouse-click and time-waster, but it's probably not going to fill the gap for die-hard fans of C&C. Sit tight though, Command & Conquer Generals 2 is still in the works at BioWare Victory, and with the Frostbite 2 backend, it's sure to be something a little more to your liking. For the full version of those trailers, or for more information on any of these stories, head to playerattack.com. I'm Jessica Citizen, see you next week.